listening to The Kelly Slusher Show with your host, Kelly Slusher. My name is Brenda. I work down at the Piggly Wiggly in Bentonville, Arkansas, and I work the register. I'm raising 5 kids all on my own. Well, I got Bobby, but the thing is, Bobby sits at home all day long, and I got the 5 kids that go to the Piggly Wiggly, and I work. I gotta feed all the kids, and I gotta feed Bobby. Bobby has me do all the laundry. Got me on my hands and knees. I've been doing everything. Go to work, supporting Bobby. Oh, and my 5 children. I mean, he does watch the kids, but I could call that watching them. He had Carl Jr. up. He's all running around. I didn't know what he had on his britches. It was like his britches were all worn down. Just, I get to know some people down at the Piggly Wiggly, and they know my life. They know about Bobby. They always say, "Oh, you still with Bobby?" And I said, I am. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining me for this lovely time of my podcast episode. That was a sketch I just made. Just kind of like popped into my head, like I was laying down, just relaxing, taking a nap, and then I remembered Brenda. That's right, I haven't done a Brenda sketch, and then I ran over to the microphone and just improv'd it. So this Brenda character is, I haven't really done a lot. I do have like a sketch that I actually filmed me doing the Brenda, but it's so depressing that I just don't even want to play it. Okay, so the idea of Brenda. So I was born in Arkansas, Boonville, Arkansas, and I'm not going to get too into this story, but basically my parents moved me out of Arkansas. They're not from Arkansas. They moved me out of there, and they moved me to Arizona when I was in the 5th grade. That made a very huge, influential thing in my life. And then being born in such a place as Boonville, Arkansas as a kid, it also was this bizarro, like just the memories that I have, and especially like some of the, Arkansas people, like, if you're from Arkansas, you're an Arkie. You're an Arkie. You're from Arkansas. So basically, this whole idea of so I've had these thoughts, like, if I would have stayed and never left Arkansas, would I have ended up like Brenda? Like barefoot, pregnant, 5 kids, or pregnant with our 5 kids, but she's got to go support herself down at the Piggly Wiggly, and she's got this deadbeat, she's got like this deadbeat, backwoods boyfriend, baby daddy, or maybe totally not, but for some reason I just thought that was just like this reality that exists out there. Like, that's, not to make fun of it, but it is just comedy, and it is just, life, which is comedy. It's dramedy, it's comedy, it's funny, it's sad, it's happy, it's a little bit of everything. So anyway, that was inspired by this what if. And anyway, I had fun this weekend. I went to a play, and it was very entertaining. And I'm just going to admit this. So as much as I can do my little sketches on here, and I write my own material. I write my own, just like Brenda, I just write that. I wrote that, and I write other stuff. And I act it, but I've never done the theater. I've talked about this in previous podcasts. Okay, but the thing is if I go to a play, if I'm like in the audience, when the play starts, I start to get nervous. I start to feel squirmy. I start to feel like, and I'm like, okay, I'm an audience member. Why am I having this major reaction? And I'm like, because the only reason why you're not on that stage is because you have high performance anxiety. And it just like this it just really, really was clear to me the other night. I was like, oh, that's pretty lame if I allow that to stop me from doing stuff. So anyway, I've been really thinking a lot about that. When I was, okay, this is the anxiety. So when I was in my 20s, I took an acting class at a community college, and I thought I could do it, and I wasn't really able to perform in front of people, like to do acting. And I do believe that I ran off. I think I blocked it out. Like, it was too traumatic. Like, I ran off, like, during a performance. Like, I couldn't do it. I was so nervous. So, yeah, I don't know where it's coming from, but I've been working on it. And, yeah, that nervous thing is coming to an end. I declare, because it's too fun. And it's just just one of my gifts, Been doing it, just doing this in my head my whole entire life. Like, I would, try to tell my sister all this stuff, and she'd be like, you're weird. And I'm like, no, but what if there was this? And I'd make up these stories about these people, and I'd act out the parts and stuff. And, but, so, all right, switching subjects. I think I said, yeah, but okay. So I am just like, wow. Okay. It's just new. It's like a new experience. Okay. So I've talked about last week, we had this like bread baker influencer that was working at where I was working, and I had to work with her, but not doing the same thing. She was a bread baker. And the whole time it was just, I was always like, she bugged me, like I was always like, I'm very accepting of a lot of people too. So if something is bugging me, the one thing I don't like about people, like I will fast judge you. I find myself, I cannot stand pretentious people. Like I cannot stand, like at my core, if someone thinks that they're like so lovely and amazing and then puts other people down. And it has to get all this attention. Like, it's just really an annoying personality. I mean, I think that's pretty average. I just, I like to hang out with regular people. I can't stand that. That's why I could never live in LA. I'd be like, I mean, I saw it. I lived in New York. I've seen this stuff. Like, you can't even relate to some people because they're so full of themselves. So it turns out, I really willed this person, like, to leave. Like, she didn't know this, but I was like, boy, I would dread it. I was like, oh, I don't want to have to work with her again. And it's like her. And so in my head, I was like, just seeing her leaving, just seeing it, just being like, she doesn't work there anymore, just affirming this. And then lo and behold, she doesn't work there anymore within like 2 weeks of me just really focusing her out of there. I'm not saying that I particularly did that, because I think that the potential was so strong that I kind of just helped push it into reality, because she was wobbling, she couldn't do the job, and she was really busy like doing selfies and filming herself, and she's like, I look so cute, but yet our bread looked like crap. It was embarrassing for the whole bakery, like, here's your stupid, sorry about that ciabatta, sorry about, it like just looks bad. So I just learned that, and I didn't really know this, but I could kind of, she had kind of tried to correct me as things I did, like, you should do it like this. And I just went like, excuse me? Excuse me? I don't mind learning things, but it's all how we like, you don't say that to someone, especially someone who actually it's not like I'm a new at this. It's like going into someone's, you're a mechanic and another mechanic being like, you're doing it wrong. You should do it like this. You just be like, are you insane? Do you know the stuff I make? Like, it's not there it's not there even like in a few hours. Like when we're really busy, people like what I do. People like what they do. The other bakers do, And she's like, and so I just found out that she said to one of my co-bakers, she said, I had a pastry the other day and it was so disgusting. I had to spit it out. I had thought I was done with this person, but I just want to say this because it's so, unbelievable. Like when you work around a bunch of people, you're going to meet all kinds of characters, especially in this town I live in. So it's unbelievable. Okay, this is the thing I want to say to this girl, if I could. This place, which you could not handle, you had to quit because you were complaining. It was too hard for you. We win like we're like number one bakery. We won best of several years in a row. We just won another best of. And like this past year, we just won. It's like, if we were so horrible, why do we have a line of customers out the door? Anyway, okay, let's move on. So it just rubbed me. It rubbed me. Okay. So the other day I'm leaving my, so I have this night shift. It's like sometimes I work like 1 to 7. It's like one day a week. So I'm leaving and I'm like covered in flour and it's a prep shift. And so I'm like prepping for the bakery. So I'm doing all kinds of, it's just, it's a dirty job. It's flour, so there's flour on my pants. I'm feeling frumpy. I don't like to wear nice clothes when I'm working. Of course, I don't want to get them ruined. There's flour on my shoes. I'm just like feeling frumpy and my hair is probably a mess and I'm walking, I just want to go home and take a shower and change my clothes. And there's this couple and they're walking towards me and they're walking into the downtown. It's about that time. It's about the time of lights go down and the party goes up. And I could feel their vibe. They're I didn't really notice them until the guy almost within a little bit of passing me, he points at me and he goes, "Ask her." And I said, "Ask me what?" And then he's like, "She's worried about her Uggs. Are her Uggs okay?" And I said, "No." And then I said, "Just kidding." And then in that moment, I'm telling you, I cannot believe how many concentrated thoughts happened within a split second, because it didn't take me long to say what I said. But the reason why I said what I said was just, it was deep, and it was, there was a lot of information that I've just like, and all of a sudden, no. Okay. And I knew I was doing this because, for one, I don't like Uggs. Don't like them. What am I supposed to tell you? So one of the things I believe that we should be honest. I think that as much as we possibly can, and people go, "Oh, no, let me tell you. It's called integrity." The more that you're dishonest, the more it chips away at your integrity. That's why you see these people who are like schmarmy. Like people who lie all the time, they become like schmarmy and just, you can just see it. And the more that people stand in their truth, you can feel it. So I think it's really important to be truthful. I'm not going to say I'm perfect, but in that moment I was like, I'm not giving up the truth, how I feel, to make this person feel better. If you feel that, and she was like, and it was so ridiculous, because on one level of ridiculousness, it's like you're going to probably like McGee's, or you're going to go to, you're going to probably just be going to some bar and go getting a beer, okay? Like, you're not gonna go walk the red carpet, and if someone cared, who cares? Look at me. I'm walking down the street with flour on me. I look frumpy. I don't like to look like this. This hurts me. I hate it. I hate that I have to wear my hair back. I hate that I have to wear these not my best clothes. But so I hate this. And so you're worried about your Uggs. The other thing was, it was just like, I don't know, the small townness of it. And it was really silly. So then I was like, I'm not going, did I ruin her night? And I'm like, well, I said I was just kidding. Okay, whatever. Okay, I'm a jerk. Whatever. No, I don't know. No, I'm not. I'm honest. Okay, this is the other thing. So I was another thing that happened with a person at the self-check. Like I say, people just like tell me things. They just feel so comfortable to talk to me, which is great because they, I am easy to talk to. I probably just feel people can feel that. And so I'm just at the register, and this guy he's just like kind of like this older guy. He's at the neighboring self-check, and he just like looks at me and he goes, he's like, there's 65 feet of cheese in this store. I was like, really? I'm like, 65 feet, huh? I'm like, do you think that's a lot of cheese? And he's like, what? I don't know. I mean, that's just a lot. 65 feet. I'm like, okay, so if I wasn't like trying to go somewhere, I would have almost wanted to walk back there and just see like, this is true. Okay, questions. I have so many of them. Okay, I know that they like redid their store because they had too much clutter. And then I had seen somewhere someone posted about how cluttery the store was. They kept putting things in like the middle of the aisles, and people couldn't push their carts because it was just bad design. Well, they just ripped all that out. Now it's just like, there's this like aisle that's so big that like I almost said something to like one of the customers, because not almost, but a big what if. I'm like, wish I could just say that. Like, that this area is going to be all a dance party right here. They're going to have like an in-store dance party, just all this right here. It's going to be a roller rink right here. But I didn't. But it wouldn't surprise me if, like, why are you even thinking about that? And like, he just couldn't believe it that he had to tell like another customer, like, my word. Loved it. Love it for it. Love it for it. Love it for it. You've been listening to the Hillbilly Show. So I've been doing a lot of more like my loops, having a lot of fun with making these little background beats in Logic. It's fun. So yeah, then it becomes all mine. Everything that you are hearing is all me. I just got the dreaded jury duty slip in the mail. And I went to get out of it because other places I've lived, I've been able to easily get out of it. Like, oh, I'm just crazy. I remember telling people, well, there was a time where I couldn't do it. I've rarely been summoned, handful, maybe a couple times, but I was always able to like find a way out of it. But here, no. It's like, are you 70 or older and senile? No. Are you a peace officer? No. Do you have a person you're caring for that no one else can care for? No. Looks like you're going. Okay, what about like not wanting to go? Where's the little thing where you don't want to go? I mean, I will say I will probably find it fascinating, but I don't want it to go. I don't actually, it's like that whole thing, like hopefully it's not some big drawn out case, where it's one of those things. I've heard people someone was telling me that they had served and like it was a violent crime and they had to see the photos, and I'm like, I mean, maybe like if it got to that point, I could say, hey, if they review the jury and say, look, I'm going to find this person guilty because this is horrific, and I'm not going to look at any of the other evidence because I'm triggered. I'm sensitive. I don't even watch horror movies. I can't see like the real life stuff. Anyway, but I was thinking like, what if it says if you don't go and you just blow it off, basically, you don't show up, you can go get arrested, you can go to jail, you can serve time, imprisonment. And like, what if like it's simply the little card they send you, it's like 3x5 maybe. It's small enough to get lost. It can get lost, and let's say you get like a bunch of junk mail and it looked like a piece of junk mail. You didn't realize it. And so like, or what if it slips in between like your seat and your console? Yep, all of a sudden you're getting arrested. Why am I going to jail? You did not appear
in court. You were summoned for jury duty. Oh, I didn't know. Too bad. Let me arrest you. You're in jail. There's somebody, all these other people in there. Hey man, why are you in here? I stole 15 cars in a row. And then I mugged a grandma. Why are you in here? Well, see, the little teeny 3x5 card for the jury duty service slipped between my seat and the console, and I did not see it. I failed to notice, so now I'm in jail. That makes sense. This doesn't make sense. Okay, I'll leave you with this. See, when you work around a bunch of people, it's subjects, right? This is subjects, and something I get to talk about because it's stuff that happens, and it's just like a bunch of different, like where I work, there's probably like, if you total maybe 60 people, but not all at once, but there's just a lot of people that, and there's people that come and go. So I've gotten to that point where you're just like, oh, look, another new person, whatever. You just kind of, you get to the point where you just kind of start ignoring, just whatever. But, or, oh, that person was, oh, now they're gone? Okay, that's fine. But it makes for a lot of entertainment, okay? And I only tell a handful of people, I don't talk about my podcast there because I don't want them to listen, because I want to be able to talk about it. Although I tell a couple people, but only the cool people, only the people that are like super, like, I know they're cool. I know that they probably still won't listen. I've had like maybe 2 people listen. There might be secret listeners, I don't know, but I definitely don't talk about it because I want to be able to keep these 2 things separate, because that's just like this kind of like part-time job that, but I get a lot of podcast material. I just gotta walk outside, but then no, this is like, but some of the things I can't talk about because it's almost like it's too much. Like if it were to get out, then it would be awkward and weird, and I wouldn't want to deal with that. But I will say this. So there's this person. He's never gonna listen to this. There's a sous chef that works at this place, and he's quite a character. Anyway, he likes to listen to house music, and he plays a really important role in that whole business. Like I do respect that and stuff. And so this isn't a disrespect to him, but he hates when. So he likes to listen to house music, but he hates when he had to say this. He hates. Woot, woot. He hates when people go, woot, woot, with like, if you're at like a concert, or you're like, because he listens to like techno house, and he always has his techno house on, and we all love to listen to this techno house, but it's whatever. He likes this. I like electronic, but I like kind of weird, more obscure stuff. I don't like the house stuff. It's just generic, and but he hates the woot woot so much that he has to announce it, and it's like, when do you have to deal with that? Oh, okay. Well, I guess when he goes to festivals, if people start doing that, he's like, stop. He hates it. I don't know. It's like obnoxious. So when I learned that I was, it was my night shift, and me and my coworker started going, and he was there, and we'd be like, woot, woot. And it was just obnoxious and really mean, but it was funny. And he's having a party coming up here soon, and I'm like, oh, we gotta do it. We gotta go and be like, woot, woot. I'm like, we should like grab, like do the train, like go through the party with a train and get as many people all going at his birthday party. I don't know. It's me. It's funny because it's one of those things. It's like, it's something that you hate, and then someone's like, I'm going to do it anyway. But I guess it's his personality that you can. Okay. I've been yapping enough. Okay, I'm gonna get this out. I will talk to you all another day, another time, with more stories and adventures. All right.